That's why Italian really makes it
So we're gonna be reading. I just pray it works out. Oh, I wanted to hear if the volume is coming out. The volume yesterday was coming out, but I think it was alright. Check on something, then I'm gonna be reading. Yeah, I feel like every time I come on the stream, I'm just looking, so it's better for me to just read.
So, this other way it can continue.
Yeah. 20 minutes. Okay. So we go. We go 300. The total money makeover. I'm reading this book. I don't know. I'm reading. The total money takeover. A proven plan for financial fitness. Dave Ramsey, Thomas Nelson. Contents. Okay, where introduction. Read the stories of the lives changed by this book. As a matter of fact, I recommend you skip through the book reading all the stories first. They will inspire you to read all the way through. and actually to do the proven plan to financial fitness. Many years ago, I was given a calling to show people the truth about debt and money, and to give them the hope and tools necessary to set themselves free financially. First, I did that with a few speaking engagements and a small self-published book titled Financial Peace. Later, Financial Peace was published by a New York. Introduction. I'm skipping the introduction because I need to begin where I need to begin. This book. Flying turkeys and skinny dippings. When I was a child, my grandmother, a second grade school teacher who also taught drama, used to sit on her knee and read to me. She read with great enthusiasm and a lot of drama. One of the children's stories she read to me was about the three little pigs. One built his house out of straw, one out of twigs, and one out of bricks. You know the story. The two who built their houses quick and dirty goofed off, parted, and made fun of the bricklayer because he was taking too much time and effort to do it right. Of course, when the wind and rains came, the two short-term thinkers ended up moving in with their brother. Why? Because he had prepared well enough to weather the storms. The other two found their lives completely blown apart. Economic storms, real ones. If you're there, you can say hi to me. I'm continuing. I don't know if... Okay, I need to check here if I'm audible. I need to check and see if I'm very audible. Economic storms, real ones. A huge economic storm hit America and the rest of the world in 2008. In 2008, as with all strong storms, the only houses that survived were the ones that were built well on a solid foundation. So what's wrong? I need to read. I have 1 hour here. Read information that I feel like will help me and the people out there. Okay, let me first read. I'll see this later. A huge economic storm hit America and the rest of the world in 2008. As with all strong storms, the only houses that survived were the ones that were built well on a solid foundation. The rest were blown over. Companies who had built well survived. Those who hadn't are now in history. Many once great businesses abandoned their strong foundations by investing in bad, high-risk investments and taking on mountains of debt. Sadly, most of those companies are now history or are owned by someone else. What happened? Well, this is not a textbook on economics, so we won't dissect every detail. However, it is instructive to your total money makeover to look at the event to learn our private lessons. The 30,000 foot view that you would get from an airplane might look like this. Might look like this. Broke people in serious financial trouble borrowed money from greedy bankers at horrible terms and high interest rates to buy homes. Oh, there's somebody I didn't turn on. Let me first turn on somebody here. Follow if you watching. Follow. Hit the subscribe button if you can.
We have a responsibility. Yes. The responsibility. There is no requirement for you are yes, what are they can say? Goes in hard for it is okay. It's not really a while.
My piece is slow, so give me some time. So late. So late, but forgive me. Give me some time. Give me some time. I'm gonna be done. I am going to be done. Just give me a minute. My camera is not good, but in Africa, use what you have. Yeah, use what you have. So I won't wait till I get a good camera to stream. I won't wait. So I'm using whatever I have, whether it gives me poor quality. So forgive me. Don't laugh at me. Yeah? If you see my videos and they are not having the quality that you expect, just know I'm using what I have. Maybe one day I will get it. Maybe I won't get it. Whatever. I don't care anymore now. Just doing this as a hobby. Yeah. So let me finish up here faster. Then I begin to read for the people and for myself, anybody out there, because I feel like information is what we need. Yeah. I'd not turned on somebody here, but now I feel like I'm ready to begin till 7. Yeah, till 7. Then till 7. Yeah, till 7. Then we see how it goes. 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 Yes, still slow, laggy, but it's laggy. But it will be okay. Okay. Where was I? Broke people in serious financial trouble, borrowed money. Broke people. Broke people in serious financial trouble borrowed money from greedy bankers at horrible terms and high interest rates to buy homes. The loans were not prime, good loans, so they were actually called subprime loans. That just means these mortgages were less than good. Duh. This rip-off lending has always been done, but never on such a large scale, in an effort to make more profits to keep their stock prices up. Banks and investment bankers began to buy these loans in bulk, and they bought lots of them. What was unthinkable in the investment community just a few years earlier became common practice. Formerly, legitimate, upstanding major banks and investment bankers essentially became loan sharks using very sophisticated financial instruments. For years, the mortgage industry had packaged good mortgages together and sold them as bonds. You have probably heard of Fannie Mae bonds. That used to refer to a group of good Fannie Mae mortgages that were wrapped together and sold as unit or bond. During this period of stupidity, during this period of stupidity, however, the subprime bad loans were packed together and sold as bonds, a lot of them. We live in a cause and effect world. What you sow, you will reap. In a shocking turn of events, the broke people didn't pay their mortgage payments. He says sarcastically, this for some unknown reason seemed to surprise the greedy bankers. Surprise, broke people can't pay ridiculous house payments. Go figure. The big problem, however, was scale. A lot of broke people didn't pay their payments, so foreclosure members began to rise rapidly in some boom markets where the real estate prices had shot up artificially high. The foreclosures began bringing home prices down and down and down, with values dropping so low. Relatively secure and responsible homeowners started to get in trouble too. Fear broke out on Wall Street and stock prices started dropping. By the time the fear got to Washington, it had become a full-blown pandemic. And once the pandemic got to the news media, it had become all-out hysteria. Every day, American consumers watched the hysteria play out on television with their 400, 1K and home values dropping. They wisely decided this was not a good time to keep spending like a drunken congressman. When we stopped buying stuff at a breakneck speed, the economy slowed and businesses began hurting everyone. Companies who were deeply in debt and cash poor began to die. A lot of businesses vanished almost overnight. People stopped buying washers and what's this? People stopped buying washers, dryers, so the washer and dryer manufacturer started laying people off, and employment rose. This, of course, just made the circle go around again, forcing real estate and stock prices even low. Good news, bad news. The good news is that the good news is that we are recovering, and will continue to recover. Some learned the painful lessons on a private, individual level. Others learned the economic lessons on a more widespread national level. Many people didn't learn anything at all. The great news is that for some of you, this event was your Great Depression. Emotionally speaking, the Great Depression permanently changed the way many people handled their money. If you have a grandfather or a great aunt who was an adult during that time, he or she likely has a complete different way of looking at debt, saving, and giving than most people of other generations. That is because your loved one has experience. And as many pastors say, a man with an experience is not at the mercy of a man with an opinion. I went broke 20 years ago, and that experience changed my life. I have applied the principles of this book to my life for the past 2 decades. Do I have anybody online? I think I don't have anybody. Okay. I have applied the principles of this book to my life for the past 2 decades. So, so when this storm hit in 2008, I was just a spectator. It didn't hurt me a bit. I have actually come out ahead by buying real estate at great prices and investing heavily in the stock market while both were down. I've spent the last 20 years trying to get people to leave these total money makeover principles. A lot of people have listened. So when the winds blew and the storms came, they were just as ready as I was. They had a strong foundation. Flying turkeys. What does all this mean for your total money makeover? The first lesson of this economic storm is that your financial process and principles must work in good times and in bad times. Otherwise, they don't work. Our economy had been so good for so long that really stupid ideas had been working on the short term that fooled people into believing that stupid had become smart. In other words, stupid hadn't been stress tested in quite a while. When it finally was, it came up looking, well, stupid. When times are booming, you can do dumb things with money, get sloppy, and take huge risks without realizing it. I have heard it said this way: even a turkey can fly in a tornado. People were running around buying things they couldn't afford with money they didn't have, to impress people they didn't even like, and they were doing it in record numbers. Worse, they seemed to get away with it. They were like the 2 little pigs with straw and twig horns. As long as the sun was shining, life was a party. And the pig with brick seemed kind of nerdy or overly conservative, or even fanatical, but when their stupid theories were stress tested, Jim Collins, one of America's greatest business writers, has a book out called How the Mighty Fall. I think I have to read it. How the Mighty Fall. How the Mighty Fall. PDF. I read PDFs. Do I have anybody? Okay, if I don't have anybody on, it's okay. Collins, how the mighty fall, good drive, almost. How the mighty fall. It's almost 1 hour. 1 hour. Oh God. The mighty fall. My PC is very slow. I think the Windows is done. I need to update my Windows. It's affecting everything. In this book, he discusses the 5 stages of decline when a business fails or falls. There is a great application here for our nation's economy and for your life and mine. Collins says the first stage of decline is marked by hubris, pride and arrogance, mixed with a false notion of invisibility, lead the mighty to take huge, ridiculous risks. In our case, that would be borrowing lots of money and not saving any, because my job is stable. I can afford the easy payments with my job. This hubris causes sloppiness and denial of risk. Hey, that sounds like me 20 years ago, right before I went broke. I had been taught a group of myths, lies that I accepted as truth about money. I thought the rules of risk and restraint didn't apply to me because I was so smart. That led me to build a house of cards that fell the first time there was a light breeze, much less a real storm. Here's the lesson. Just because you see a turkey flying in a tornado doesn't mean turkeys can fly. Just because some wild-eyed theory of investing, borrowing, and living without cash reserves works in good times doesn't mean you can survive a storm. Remember, your ways of handling money have to work in good times and in bad times. Skinny dipping. Warren Buffett has a saying, when the tide goes out, you can tell who was skinny dipping. I have talked for years that if you have a bad map, you will be led fall or completely miss the party. The principles that you build your life on will determine your level of success. If you plan your marriage around a bad map or bad set of assumptions, then it will likely fail. If you have all the good intentions in the world but build your financial house on bad ideas, it will fail. I personally experienced this a long time ago with this last recession. Many more Americans are discovering that their theories about money and their assumptions about how money works were wrong, and they discovered they were wrong the hard way through pain. Overspending doesn't feel like overspending because things are going well. It's still overspending. Using debt to invest in real estate or the stock market and the hope of a quick return will cause you to go broke the minute the market turns. Chasing the next get rich quick scam like the lottery or investing in gold will always bring you pain. Hiring someone else like some debt settlement company to fix your life virtually never works. The myths, lies spread by our culture that we cover in these books, first two editions, have all been proven by this economic downturn. If you live the way we teach in this book, you will prosper in good times and in bad times. I have a friend that we will call Chris. Chris told me, and I have a friend also called Chris. Chris told me, Chris told me an interesting story in the middle of the latest recession that illustrates what I am pointing out to you. For 13 years, Chris worked for a large corporation whose name you would recognize. He started his total money makeover about 7 years ago. When I saw him 2 years ago, he ran up to me with a big smile and big hug to proudly proclaim that he was debt-free, including his home. He had absolutely no debt and had saved $38,000 in his emergency fund. When I saw him again a year later, he had another fun story to share with me. It seems that he and his boss had become best friends over the years that they worked together. That week, his boss, came into his office with blood drained from his face and his lip quivering, quivering, saying, I don't know how to tell you this, but corporate is making me lay off. Corporate is making me lay you off. Chris jumped out from his chair, ran around the desk, gave his friend a big hug and said, cool, how much is the severance? How much is the severance? The company gave him more than $70,000 in severance, and he is now starting his own business, something he has wanted to do for years. He wasn't stressed, but instead saw only opportunity because he was ready. As of this writing, he will make almost double his old salary with his new business this year. Wow. However, most people live on the other side of the coin. When they get news of a layoff, they have the blood drained from their faces, and it is their lips that are quivering. If you have lost your job and are struggling, I am not picking on you. I have seen hard times, but I want you to do what I did when I faced pain brought on by my own stupid decisions and lack of preparation. I said very loudly, never again, next time. Well, there won't be a next time. So my prayer for you is that whatever fear or pain you have gotten out of this last recession, you learn from it. Remember the day when stupid financial tricks were stress tested and came up looking well. Stupid. I have met many children of the Great Depression who learned their lessons well. They are prosperous and take only the careful and take only the carefully calculated risk. They have seen much more extreme economic times than you have seen. But we can still learn our lessons and not get sucked back into the craziness of the last few years. It is time for your total money makeover. Are you ready? Yes, I am ready. Anybody out there? Okay. Are you ready? Yes, I am ready. The total money makeover challenge. As lost as a ball in tall winds. That is exactly how I felt. Although it was 20 years ago, I can still test the emotion as if it were yesterday. Out of control, lost, no sense of power. I felt dread creep across the room like the afternoon shadows on a cold winter's day. Sitting again at the kitchen table. Sitting again at the kitchen table with too much mouth left at the end of the money. I was not having fun. This adult stuff where a wife looks to you to provide and kids expect to be fed and kept warm was not exactly working. I didn't feel like some powerful adult. Instead, there was a little boy inside me who was very afraid of this month's bills, afraid of this month's mortgage, and absolutely terrified when I considered the future. How was I to send kids to college, retire, enjoy life, and not live at the age of money worries? The normal American family. It seemed every month I sat at that same table with the same worries, fears, and problems. I had too much debt, too little savings, and no sense of control over my life. No matter how hard I worked, it seemed I couldn't win. I was to forever be slave to some banker, to the government, and to the needs of my family. When Sharon and I talked about money, we ended up in a fight, leaving her feeling afraid and me feeling inadequate. The next car purchase, the next house, the kids' college, our entire future seemed out of reach. I had too much debt, too little savings, and no sense of control over my life. I didn't need a get rich quick guy to pump me up or to tell me to be positive. I didn't need a secret formula to riches. I wasn't afraid of hard work or sacrifice. I didn't want to feel my way into being positive. I was positive of only one thing. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of sitting down to do the bills and having a heaviness come over me. The hopelessness was overwhelming. It felt like a gabil in a wheel. Run. No traction, no ground covered. Maybe life was just a financial illusion. All the money came in, all the money went out, and only the names were changed to protect the innocent. I owe, so off to work I go. You know the drill. And all the cliches that go with the drill. Okay. Oh, some months, everything seemed to work, and I thought maybe we were going to be okay. I could tell myself then, oh well, this is how everyone lives. Those times offered enough wiggle room that I could continue to lie to myself that we were making headway, but deep down I knew we weren't. I did it my way, and my way wasn't working. Enough. These things. I finally decided that this non-plan wasn't working. If you have ever had any of those feelings, you are going to love this book, and more important, you will love your total money makeover. More than 20 years ago, my wife Sharon and I went broke. We lost everything due to my stupidity in handling money, or not handling it, as the case may be. Hitting bottom and hitting it hard was the worst thing that ever happened to me, and the best thing that ever happened to me. We started with nothing, but by the time I was 26 years old, we held real estate worth over $4 million. I was good at real estate, but I was better at borrowing money. Even though I had become a millionaire, I had built a house of cards. The short version of the story is that we went through financial hell and lost everything over a 3-year period of time. We were sued, foreclosed on, and finally, with a brand new baby and a toddler, we went bankrupt. Scared doesn't begin to cover it. Crushed comes close, but we held on to each other and decided we need a change. Miss MYTHS, myths versus truth. Myth. I don't have time to work on a budget, retirement plan, or estate plan. Truth. You don't have time. You don't have time not to. So, after losing everything, I went on a quest to find how. Oh God. I think I need to drink some water. So after losing everything, I went on a quest to find out how money really works, how I could get control of it, and how I could have confidence in handling it. I read everything I could get my hands on. I interviewed all the rich people who made money and kept it. That quest led me to a really uncomfortable place, my mirror. I came to realize that my money problems, worries, and shortages largely began and ended with a person in my mirror. I realized also that if I could learn to manage the character I helped with every morning, I could win at money. That quest, the one that ended with me staring at myself in the mirror, led me on a new journey over the last 20 years, the journey of helping others. Literally, millions of others take the same quest to the mirror. Live events, Financial Peace University, the Dave Ramsey Show Talk, courtesy. This book I'm reading is courtesy of the Dave Ramsey Show Talk, radio and TV show, and the New York Times bestsellers Financial Peace, More Than Enough, and the Total Money Makeover have enabled me to tell millions of Americans what I have learned the hard way about money. The big challenge. Find a mirror. I have a challenge for you. Are you ready? Are you ready to take on the guy or girl in your mirror? If you are ready to win. I rediscovered gods and grandmas. I rediscovered gods and grandma's simple way of handling money. Wealth building isn't rocket science, which is a good thing for me and probably you. Winning at money is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. Winning at money Winning at money is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. What to do isn't the problem. Doing it is. Most of us know what to do, but we just don't do it. If I can control the guy in the mirror, I can be skinny and rich. We will let other books work on the skinny, and I will help you with the rich part. No, there are no secrets. Yes, this will be very hard. Yeah, hey, if it were easy, every moron working would be wealthy. That's very bad to call somebody a moron. Winning at money is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. So my total money makeover begins with a challenge. The challenge is you. You are the problem with your money. The financial channel or some DVD sets aren't your answer. You are the king of your future, and I have a plan. The total money makeover plan isn't theory. It works every single time. It works because it is simple. It works because it gets to the head. It gets to the heart of your money problems. It is based on a series of prices that must be paid to win. All winners pay a price to win. Some losers pay a price and never win. And that is usually because they didn't have the benefit of a proven plan for financial fitness. Ordinary people, tens of thousands of ordinary people have used the system in this book to get out of debt, regain control, and build wealth. I've scattered their stories throughout the book. If at any point during your makeover you are tempted to quit or you just need a little encouragement, read one of these stories. These people have sacrificed for a short period of time so they will never have to sacrifice again. If you are looking for a roadmap to get you home, you have found it. If you are looking for something easy or fast, you have the wrong book. If you are looking for a book to help you pass your CPA exam in the area of financial knowledge, you have the wrong book. If you are looking for a writer who has intricate academic theories that don't work in the real world, you have the wrong book. Shocking stats. 90% of people in our culture buy things they can't afford. 90% of people in our culture buy things they can't afford. I often hear about broke finance professors who bemoan that I am way too simple. Oh, as an emailer told me on the Dave Ramsey show one day, you are a one-trick pony. To those of you who say you have great but unexecuted plans, I say, prove it. I like the way I have built wealth better than the way you have it. You will meet people, educated and uneducated, throughout this book who have won or begun to win with money for the first time in their lives. The total money makeover works. The total money makeover motto. This plan works, but it will cost you. It will teach you to say new words like no. In short, your total money makeover will be a personal money makeover where you learn this motto. If you will live like no one else, if you will live like no one else, later you can live like no one else. Oh, world is promoting. If you will live like no one else, later you will live like no one else. This is the motto of your total money makeover. It's my way of reminding you that if you will make the sacrifices now that most people aren't willing to make, later on you will be able to live as those folks will never be able to live. You will notice the motto all through the book, even across the bottom of the pages. I am sorry, there isn't an easier path to future in the motto, but the great thing about this one is that it works. You can repeat the motto to yourself as you pass up a purchase in order to hit your goals. When you work late and are tired, you can say the motto to yourself. Of course, this isn't a magic formula. I am not into that, but it does remind you that you will win and the payoff will be worth the cost. Damn DUM, damn math and stupid tax. A false sense of security. Some people want to buy a new car for the warranty. If you lose $17,000 of value over 4 years, on average you have paid too much for a warranty. You have completely rebuilt the car twice for 17. For 17,000. I think I'll begin from there. Some of you are so immature that you are unwilling to delay pleasure for a greater result. I will show you exactly how to get the result you want. So the price you pay will not be in vain. I don't want to walk across hot coils because it is fun. But if I can be shown how a short, painful walk will do away the lifetime of worry, frustration, stress, and fear that can be constantly brings me, then bring on the hot coil. You will win, and the payoff will be worth the cost. Early in our marriage, we decided that Carrie would stay home with our children rather than working outside the home. This decision has perhaps disadvantaged us financially at times, but it has been the best choice for our family in many other regards. Financially, we have made some mistakes such as keeping our student loans around because of the low interest and even leasing a car at one point. To us, credit cards were a status symbol, and we had a few. Our debt peaked at about $375,000, including the mortgage. That's not the smartest situation to get yourself into when you have 4 kids and 1 salary. By the time we got on Dave's plan, we were ready to work with gazelle intensity to get rid of our debt. During 1 6-month period, we paid off $57,000 and gave $7,000 to our church. That really encouraged us and kept us going. It was also great going to Atlantis with Dave and Sharon as finalists in the Total Money Makeover Challenge. Now we are debt free and helping our daughter through her first year of college. We are also saving for retirement at a good rate and building a new house. We enjoy earning interest now rather than paying it. We couldn't have done it without Dave. We pay cash for everything, and we tell our money where to go. We can't even tell you the peace and freedom this has brought our entire family. The first months were the most painful as we went from credit to cash. But it's so nice not to be paying for today and yesterday anymore. By following Dave's Total Money Makeover plan, you will gain peace of mind as you get control over your money. Just remember to stay focused. The key to our success was both of us getting on the same page at the same time. We now work together to plan our spending rather than racing to outspend each other. We are each other's source of strength during weak moments when spending sounds fun again. We have learned to have fun talking about money and financial goals. It's no longer a contentious subject. What is the meaning of contentious?
You need to go into passage. No, that's the one perspective.
What's the meaning of contentious? What's the meaning of contentious? What's the meaning of contentious? Contentious. Contentious means something that is likely because disagreement, argument, or conflict. It can describe an issue, topic, or even a person who tends to provoke disputes. Oh, okay. I think I'm done for here. I tried to stream here. Now I have to go on TikTok for 1 hour. I have to go. See you around. Subscribe.